All right, Shalom. This is Howard One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amaf, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is it says, this is an article. It says about 90 countries to take part in the Swiss hosted Ukraine peace summit, but Russia will not attend, man. All right, so you got a peace summit that's happening on behalf of Ukraine, where Russia is not involved in that peace summit when the conflict is between Ukraine and Russia, seemingly on the forefront. It says Swiss federal Councillor Ignazio Casas, seen on the right, and Swiss federal Councillor Viola Amherd take part in a media conference on the peace conference in Bern, Switzerland on Monday, June 10th. Nearly 90 countries from Western Europe and organizations, half from Europe, have confirmed attending the Swiss hosted Ukraine Peace Summit over the weekend. Switzerland president said Monday, however, Russia won't be there. Moscow has not been invited, but says it would not have attended anyway, as the conference is based on the peace proposals of Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky that Russia rejects, man. So all this peace talks they're doing is really a waste of time, because Russia is going to reject everything that they're talking about, because it only benefits Ukraine and the West. President Viola Amherd told reporters in Swiss capital Bern, in the Swiss capital Bern, that summit on Saturday and Sunday will aim to chart a path towards possible peace nearly 28 months after Russian forces invaded Ukraine and the war grinded on. Really, we know that Russia was provoked into invading Ukraine. This is not about propaganda, said Amherd. That means it most likely is about propaganda. This is about the basis of humanitarian aid provided by Switzerland, based on fostering peace and to provide a platform to initiate a dialogue. You can tell there's some propaganda involved. The Swiss president said that most participants would be top country leaders, with about half represented at the head of state or government level, and a handful from organizations like the United Nations, from President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. They both East Edomites, are expected to attend the summit at the Bergenstock Resort overlooking Lake Lucerne in the village of Abergern. They so vain, man. They be like really detailed in what they're trying to, It says Zelensky in Manila to promote peace summit, which he says China and Russia are trying to undermine. All right. Zelensky accuses China of pressuring other countries not to attend the upcoming peace talks. Right, man? So I'm going to read a little bit more of this article real quick. It says here, the White House said Vice President Kamala Harris will represent the U.S. at the meeting in Lucerne on June 15th. Zelensky and Ukraine said Ukraine needs more mental health workers for its soldiers. Marcos promised to help and welcomed a decisive decision by Ukraine to open an embassy in Manila this year, which would haste efforts hasten efforts to deliver assistance. So this is really about more assistance to Zelensky and Ukraine. We have ourselves been trying to promote the continuing adherence to international law in our part of the world, Marcos said. The issues that you are facing are similar and are parallel to ours, and therefore the position the Philippines takes is always to promote peace. Both leaders spoke critically of China at the Singapore Forum, which was attended by top defense and government officials from around the world, including from Washington and Beijing. The talks were held amid the raging wars in Gaza and Ukraine, as well as growing tensions and rivalry for influence between the United States and China in the Indo-Pacific region, man. At a news conference in Singapore on Sunday, Zelensky accused China of helping Russia to disrupt the Swiss organized peace summit by pressuring other countries not to attend. All right, so this is not going to bring any peace. Russia using Chinese influence in the region, using Chinese diplomats, also does everything to disrupt the peace summit, he said, without elaborating. This is unfortunate that such a big, independent, powerful country as China is an instrument in the hands of Russian leader Vladimir Putin. So they're saying China's being used just like America was being used, which that's according to the scriptures as well. In Beijing, Chinese Foreign Minister spokesperson Mao Ning denied the allegations. Our country's position is open and transparent, and there is no such thing as pressuring other countries, Mao said. All right, so China has taken what it says in a neutral position on the war, putting it at odds with Ukraine. The U.S. and most of Europe, its trade with Russia has grown, easing the economic impact of Western sanctions. American, Ukrainian, and other intelligence agencies say there is evidence that Chinese parts are winding up in Russian weaponry. Even if China is not directly arming its neighbors. All right, so basically, this is not going to calm down or bring any peace. It's basically going to make things even worse. Switzerland had been hoping China would attend the peace conference in mid-June, but Chinese Foreign Minister's spokesperson Mao Ning suggested Friday that that's unlikely. So everybody choosing their sides, man. All right, so yeah, this is not going to bring any peace. He said Ukraine is ready to hear various proposals and thoughts that lead us to an end of the war and a sustainable and just peace, man. But Putin said he's not trying to hear anything that Zelensky has to say. He already tried every route of peace they could possibly take. And the other day, Russia has openly declared America as an enemy. So they're not going to have any peace. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met with Zelensky over in Ukraine on the sidelines of the conference and renewed U.S. commitments to Ukraine. Wow. In an address to the forum Saturday, Austin said that Putin's war of aggression has provided us all with a preview of a world that none of us would want. Basically, World War III. All right, so yeah, man. So Marcos, whose country has had escalating clashes with China, I think the Philippines, over disputed islets in the South China Sea, bluntly underscored the dangers of the regional flashpoint Friday at the Defense Forum. He said that if a willful act should result in a Filipino dying in the high seas hostilities, that is, I think, very, very close to what we define as an act of war. So this is going to just increase the war. That would certainly increase the levels of response, Marco said in response to a question. All right, so they're talking about all these peace talks, but this is what's really happening. The scriptures say, what will I if it already be kindled? Because the Lord's fire, the destruction and the judgment that's coming on the earth is already going to be started when Yahweh Shah shows up. Because the war is going to be kicking off. So they're trying to stop the wars, but there's no way to stop it. All right, the conflict. And he said, what, 1 Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. That's why everything's building up. All right, and there's a lot of speculation, wars and rumors of wars. That's what time we're in. But they're talking about peace. When the scripture say there can be no peace for the wicked, man. All right. For verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety. See, the prophecies are speaking. And these devils are over there talking about peace and safety. Well, we know according to Habakkuk chapter 2 that the scriptures say they enlarge their desires as hell. So how can there be peace when they bring nothing but hell and death? So they said their words are smoother than butter, but war is in their heart, man. Every move they make is towards more capitalism, more corruption, more robbing, stealing, and killing. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, see, they're trying to bring in peace, all these peace summits. But Russia not hearing that, man. They can't be bought off, can't be sold. He said they shall not regard silver, and for gold they shall not delight in it. So there's no peace they can make with Russia at this point, and China. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, man. Because that sudden destruction, latest post from Russia said they're going to cool the hotheads of the West. They're cooling the hotheads of the West, man. All right, they call them a bunch of hotheads, always wanting war, the war hawks. So that's why Russia sent Navy ships and submarine, nuclear powered, over here to America's east coast, near Havana, near around Miami in the south. That's why they're threatening and doing, handing out missile technology and nuclear technology to America's enemies around the world. So, or proxy nations that are under America's oppression, like Mexico, Venezuela, Yemen, Iran. Russia's talking about supplying all of them with missiles and technology, according to Ezekiel 38. All right. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape, man. All right. So as they keep talking about peace and safety, it's going to be nothing but more and more destruction that's going to happen out of nowhere. Russia talking about increasing the onslaught or the attacks against Ukraine because the West is talking about supplying Ukraine with missiles, and they already did it, and they used them in Russia. So how can there be peace, man? All right. So when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction is coming, man. So that's what we're gonna see soon. Sudden destruction. With that, I'm saying shalom.